So it is 6:20, 6:19. We're starting a little late, but we're going to get rolling here on Drought Mitigation Committee meeting. Everybody, please rise. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll get to work. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, carry on, Mr. Burton. Is this something that we can include in the study of the spring basin? Is putting instrumentation in Lost Moors stream bed, on this side of 90, so we can
Oh,
see.
absolutely. I mean, that's already in the works. And Marty and I had talked about that. We just hadn't done it yet. We talked on this side of 90. We talked to the city and got authorization to do it. We just haven't done it yet. I've also talked to the judge. This goes back months or a year ago. That eventually, I think at the time that FEMA was looking about doing some restoration or something over there, we were talking about monitoring the overall detention basins and how much that they would have some type of gauge in there. You could see the water going down, how fast it went down, how much recovered, or how much aquifer recovery or
Well,
stormwater recovery you were generating.
There's
There's all kinds of opportunity.
there's a lot of what should I say, theories about what occurred whenever those two retention dams were put in, and where Lost Moors originated at prior to that. Lots of stories around town about it. I'm really interested in knowing if those things, how much they influence recharge, as well as how much when they're running off, how much they're influencing the stream gauge. But they should be recharge features, should they not?
Yeah, I think, I mean, certainly there's some water percolating back into the ground. I think you would, where it's going is probably shallow recharge versus anything that's going to affect and or influence the spring
Well, let me.
itself.
Okay, so that's deep, probably deeper water that's issuing from that orifice.
Right. If you want to do the deeper water recharge, you go up into the oasis. I mean, we are
Farther
our
upstream.
yeah, further upstream. I mean, at some point, I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the West Prong, right there where the gauge is off Tularosa Road, I mean, at some point that was 80,000 CFS that was running through there. Now, as of the 15th of July, that gauge hasn't been reporting. And I know Mr. Davis just recently was able to get back up to his ramp. So, but that's where your recharge is. I mean, that's where it's really high permeable stuff where you're going to get deep down into the aquifer. Any recharge down in this area, my just top of mind opinion would be that that's going to go shallow. It might stay in the Austin Chalk or something, but it would be hard to get that water deep if that's what your goal was.
Too close to it. Well, no, I'm just curious if it did influence it or not, because one of the stories was that they drilled down into the bedrock and set off dynamite and busted up the substructure so it would help the thing empty as well as the water that was flowing out into the old stream bed. Is there any way that we can get any information on that project to know what they did?
That's probably a better question for Mr. Janelle, or somebody that has some history on that.
Well,
I can see.
I mean, we're talking something that happened in '61, I think. I don't know if there's any governmental records on Army Corps of Engineer projects or anything else.
Probably at the court.
Yeah, that might be a better question for you or Vince. I'm not sure where you would get those records other than the historical understanding looking there local in the community.
Fair enough.
The Sturdy Soil Conservation, they got a grant or something. The one that was the main head of soil conservation at that time was living in Temple, I believe. He's here now. And there's trying to think who was on the thing. I'm thinking there may be a couple that were still on the soil conservation board.
How many years ago was that, Janelle?
This was in
61.
I'm gonna say it was 59, 61. It ran for like a couple of years. Yeah. But the one I'm talking about that was the head of kind of the head of the Texas Soil Conservation or something up at Temple was Herb Sini.
I know Herb. I'll go talk to Herb.
I don't know how much he remembers about it.
Heard's got a good memory.
Yeah. And he was a judge, so he probably tell you the records are probably over here.
He'd probably tell us exactly where to go find them.
Trying to think, but most of the others that were on the Soil Conservation Board at that time have passed away.
Well, that's okay. I'll talk to Herb and see what he might be able to tell us about that. I'm curious about it. It may or may not play into what we're doing on the committee, but I sent you guys a copy of some of the bullet points that I had gotten from Vince on some of the things we needed to talk about. Marty, you got some slides on it. There's nobody here for them, so we'll just go through the list. We don't have to go through the slides. Number one was increase recharge. Ways of doing that is by managing the aquifer recharge, watershed restoration, brush management. The second one was protecting critical resources, recharge zones, water levels, and springs. The third one was reducing demand, conservation, efficiency, and drought triggers. And 4 was improved resiliency, alternative water supplies, groundwater science, and emergency drought supplies. And essentially what he was saying was that we need to be looking at all of these things, not just one. So I was hoping we would have a little bit more public participation because I want to put some folks to work. I think the only way that we're going to be able to do that or research that is to send people out to go find out what they can find out about it and come back and tell us what they found out. Make subcommittees. So I've asked for an agenda item on the next business meeting for travel expenses for that purpose. I'm open to any thoughts of anyone else, what ways that we can approach this or do this.
I think that was a good idea, the way that Vince did that and y'all set it up. So I guess at the next meeting, let's just see what we can do, or who's got the who can go where and who can do what.
Well, I think I had 3 members of the community approach me after the business meeting where we discussed this and set this up, and volunteering to be on a subcommittee to go places and learn about aquifer storage and retrieval or conjunctive use. So I think what we probably should do in between now and the next time we meet is reach out to some folks that have expressed interest in this. And I don't care whether they're permittees or they're members of the public that live in Bracketville or Fort Clark Springs or whoever they are. It doesn't matter who they are. If they're interested in it and they want to give their personal time to go find something out, we need to pay to send them and put them on a subcommittee and let them go find out and come back and report to us on whether or not it's viable. Some of these things may be easier to do than others. Some of them we may have to wait on. One of the things that we've been chastised for is not having a drought management plan. I think we ought to do a voluntary drought management plan or mitigation plan and let people sign up for it. The purpose of that is to show that permittees are trying to do their part to conserve, whether they're forced to or not.
Are you gonna get Vince and Jim to set that up? How that's gonna work? Or?
Well, I just think it's something that we seriously need to consider because it's something that we could do immediately and see what kind of response we get. I mean, I know for a fact I can look a year out and tell you I'm not going to be pumping 2,000 acre foot of water and comfortably come in here and sign a document saying I'm not going to do that.
No.
Because I know I'm not. I'm not going to plant that much and I won't need it. So why can't I say I'm not going to use it? So I wouldn't mind doing that. I don't need anything in return for it. I think there's a lot of permittees that would probably voluntarily come and do that because it's the right thing to do, and people are claiming that they're going to use this. So I think it's just a way of addressing it that we can see what we get.
Do you want to put that on the next business meeting, or what do you want to do? Can
Well,
you get,
I'm
can you
just,
get it? Can
I'm
you,
just throwing it out there to see what y'all think about it.
I like
I
the
mean, you tell
idea,
me what
but
you think about it.
mostly all these other two plans are all voluntary anyway. They're not enforceable, or they don't enforce. The city could, but they don't. It's just volunteer. So it'd be the same thing. If all three of us are doing the same thing, that'd be fine.
Well, I think one, if y'all are in favor of it, I think we need to find out, is anybody else doing it? You know, we got 96 districts in the state. If there's any other district that has a voluntary program, we need to look at what they're doing and study it and see how we may or may not be able to apply parts of that to what we want to do. Then we can come up with something and present it.
Well, doesn't
Right.
Edwards already do some of those programs?
They may. I don't know. I don't operate in Edwards, so I don't.
The VISCO?
Enlighten me. They do. They got them. So,
Yeah,
but we
they've
got something we can
some
look
where
at.
they pay, but they pay people. You don't just
Okay.
give it away.
Well, I
You're
get that.
compensated every year if you
Well,
don't plant.
I figure if I don't
It's called
make it,
VISCO.
if I
It's
figure
one of them.
I figure if I don't make it voluntary, then I come under the gun that I'm trying to save myself money. So, and that's not what I'm about. I'm just trying to eliminate some of this contention within the community over really something that's not being used anyway.
Well, the
and-
ones
and-
over there, most of that is active. It's used.
Right,
Well,
and that's why they're doing a buyback. They're buying it so that you don't use it.
I forget the
And
other.
right here, they're not using it anyway. So, I mean, it's what's the big deal to say you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
It just certainly doesn't hurt me.
I think Greg could probably help answer that question because he may know.
Well,
Oh, he know. He was behind a lot of that stuff years ago. When he was the general manager, he should know. And he should know.
we're in agreement, though. We want to pursue this.
I am.
Okay. Well, we're going to do that then. I'm going to make a motion that we continue to research a voluntary drought mitigation plan that we might be able to put in place quickly.
Voluntary is the key word.
Yep. A voluntary one. That way we can put something in place. I'm not saying that's going to be the end all be all, because once we do get management zones and we start figuring out where the levels are at, we're going to have triggers in every one of them. I mean, realistically, that's where it's headed. Anyway, motion's on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. You opposed?
Mm-hmm. I'm opposed.
Okay. 2-1. We're going to pursue a voluntary drought mitigation plan. And all this is doing is we're going to research this thing. You said Edwards does one of these, but it's a buyback. Right?
It's annual.
Well, it's an annual.
Yeah, it's not a permanent thing. It's an annual. Or something maybe 3 years or 5. I mean, it's no secret. It's easy to find out what they're doing.
Well, I'm just writing it down, Edwards program, because I want to look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I want to
Is
look
it
at.
similar to the CRP where you don't plant? It has nothing to do. Yeah, because
It doesn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You just don't agree not to water.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going dry land that year.
All right. And then any other voluntary plans that we could find anywhere across the state. That's what we're looking for. We're not presenting a plan. We're just agreeing we're researching this thing to figure out whether or not there's something out there that might work.
They have another one too. I just can't think of the name of it right now, or the acronym.
That's all right. If you think of it, text it to me, because I'll do the homework on it and try and find it, and I'll text it to email it to everybody. So we can look at it and see what we can come up with.
Those have far-reaching effects, though, when you do that. You hurt your irrigation companies, you hurt your fertilizer companies, you hurt your grain elevators. It's
Well, when you get
it's
into when you start
it
getting, you're
starts
talking about
affecting a lot of people downstream,
when
a
you
lot of economy. It's not.
when you start getting into mandatory curtailments. I agree. It definitely affects it.
Well, this
But
is
that's
not
why.
mandatory, but these people are still they're not buying fertilizer and seed because they're not, or they're buying lesser amount
Well, I
because
think
they're doing dry land.
I don't think. Well, but that's what they're doing in the Edwards, and what I perceive would probably happen out here is they're not going to surrender their entire permit. They're going to look at what they're doing and say, okay, I got 200 acres and I need 400 acre foot of water,
Yeah,
and I can sign off on the balance that I'm not going to use it. And they'll probably fudge it by 100 acre feet, so they got a little extra. But they agree that they're not going to pump the balance of that permit, and that's not a bad thing.
and how long would this be for a
I,
year?
I would say that
10
it would only
years?
no. I'd say it's for 1 year because you realistically, do you plan out farther ahead than a year what you're going to grow? I mean,
Pretty much because I'm gonna always feed cattle. I'm not planning on going out of the cattle business, you know. I'm gonna plant every year, grazing and stuff.
but do you know exactly what you're going to plant and where you're going to plant it and how much you're going to water you're going to use on it, or do you use it usually look at that about 12 months out? What am I going to do this year? Oh, I'll grow hay over here in this pasture, and I'll do
I
something else next
rotate,
one.
you know.
All I'm saying is realistically, I think anything beyond a year is kind of silly.
Hmm.
Uh,
Or you're gonna be getting into a continuous program then.
well, that might be something for later if they decide to do a buyback or they decide to reimburse water use fees for what you're not using or something like that. But I don't want to get off into that right now. All I want to get off into is
Yeah.
the concept that people say there's 70,000 acre foot is going to suddenly be pumped here when,
No.
well, we know that it can't be because you have to put it to beneficial use. We understand that because we're permittees, but most people don't understand that. And so in order to make them feel more comfortable, I don't mind saying, I'm not going to use this much of my permit this year
Yeah.
and telling them that so they know I'm not going to use that. And I don't mind doing that. Would I do that with the whole thing? No. Uh-uh.
Yeah.
No, sir. Even if I didn't plan on planting anything, I might change my mind halfway through the year. I want to plant 100 acres of hay,
Yeah, you might need it.
and I'll keep 200 acre feet. So I can use that much. But I could sign off the rest and say I'm not going to use it. And I don't think that kind of a plan, I don't think it looks bad for the district. I don't think it looks bad for the public. I think it looks bad on the permittees. Now, if they cheat, that's something else.
If what?
If they cheat, that's something else.
Oh.
Of course, they're going to know about it whenever they turn in an annual pumping report. So
If it's voluntary, that doesn't mean that they have to do it.
that's correct. They don't. But that same public, it's going to eat them alive
Yep.
if they said they weren't going to do it and they did it anyway.
Yep.
So there's a certain amount of peer pressure there to do what you say you were going to do. Anyway, so any thoughts on the travel? Are we in agreement on that? That these people need to be reimbursed for their travel expenses?
I would. I mean, if you're sending them out to do stuff, don't expect them to pay for it.
Same kind of deal that we got.
Mm.
Got to have your receipts.
Now this is people you're gonna appoint or gonna volunteer, come here and volunteer to go look at
We
Kerrville for
we have to appoint them. I can't.
okay,
We have to.
the committee appointment.
Yes, it has to be all three of us.
Okay.
Yeah, it can't just be me. Now, this is not a fiefdom at all. This is just something that we can set up subcommittees and send these people out to do the research for us and come back and report. The thought process here is everybody's working.
Basically, they're doing the
We-
legwork.
Exactly.
And we make the
They're doing
decision.
they're doing some of the legwork for us to come back and tell us whether or not they think this is viable, the feasibility of it, and how much it costs. And we can send them out with a laundry list of stuff that we need to know.
Yeah.
These are the questions you need to ask when you go here. But these people have expressed interest, and I think that we need to put them to work.
Yep.
If they want to help figure this thing out, I want their help.
Is it a secret who they are?
The three that volunteered, no. The three that volunteered were Tracy Bulwer, your wife, and Curtis Bain.
Okay.
Those were the three that volunteered that spoke to me. I suspect that there may be some others.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people that have been very expressive of wanting to see something done. Well, this is your opportunity.
Yep.
Step up to the plate. We'll send you. So, is there anything else that we might need to cover on this? Let's talk about when we might meet again.
Well, on that right there, do you need a motion or anything that you're gonna put that on the agenda, or what are you gonna do?
I went ahead and put it on the agenda, Matt, because we had to have the agenda posted today, and we didn't get to meet last week.
All right, that's fine.
So I went ahead and put it on there.
Oh, okay.
You certainly vote against it if you don't agree with paying the folks, but that was going to be one of our top agenda items on the deal. But
Okay.
we ran into deadline issues for the business
that's
meeting,
fine.
so I just had them put it on there. And if it got voted down, it got voted down. Wasn't too worried about it.
Okay, that's fine.
But I did want to bring it to y'all's attention.
Okay.
We could do that, and we could take a vote on it, but I already put it on there anyway because we were meeting after I had to have that agenda posted.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's have our meeting next. Let's see, our meeting will be next Tuesday. Mr. Burton, do you have anything that you need to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Either one of you gentlemen got anything you think we missed, or something you want to add? Because I have no problem with it. Throw it in there. Okay. I'm thinking maybe we ought to meet the week after next.
That's fine.
If that might work for y'all.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, you want to do Tuesday at 6 again? Just keep
That would be in August then.
Yes, sir. I do believe it would be.
Would be.
I will run that for you here real quick.
Well, I'm looking at the calendar.
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up. That's going to put us, let's see, Tuesday is the 28th. So that's going to put us the 4th of August. Yeah, that would be the 4th of August.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that one?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Now, I would strongly encourage you to reach out to some folks, anyone that you know that been interested or talking about it. Ask them if they want to be on a subcommittee, if they want to go figure out how some of this stuff works.
Well, it'd be easy to get a hold of Pam. There, after all.
I got her already.
I've got a couple other ones in mind.
Oh, that's good. I would strongly encourage you to tell them to come on August 4th, or just tell you that they want to participate, what they're interested in. You can come back and say it August 4th. As far as I'm concerned, we'll put them on there.
I'll mention this to a couple of people, but they didn't show up.
In the interim, I want to look at I'm gonna personally look up and do research on the voluntary programs, and I'll reach out to Mr. Cini about the dams and see what I can find out about that. And we'll meet back in 2 weeks. Go from there.
Zach may know something. Not that he was there.
That's a good idea. I'm glad you mentioned him.
Zach and
Well, and
Tully Shahan's been on that board. I understand
Forever.
35 years.
Yes, for a very long time.
Brett's been on there forever.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Brett.
He's not that young anymore, but he used to be.
They're like all NRCS boards, you almost die to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fact.
It
You
is.
when you get stuck on that one, you're on it forever.
You either stow and move away, or you're there, pretty much.
Yeah,
They have
that
a
is
lot
a
of
fact.
continuity in those boards, you
Yes.
know.
Which
And
is
It's not
good.
bad. It's not a bad
Jimmy
thing.
Vader was on there, but he passed away recently, you know.
Yeah,
How many people are on that board?
I think they're 5 or 7.
5 or
I think it's
7.
5. I
Something.
think it's 5. Yeah.
So,
I know there was Jimmy,
Wait
there
a
was
second.
Brent Trent, Tully, Zach, Stan Conley.
on there.
Stan, I
if
guess.
he's
No,
not-
they Stanford's on.
I think
Stanford took
Stan's
pointed
place.
him in place of Jimmy.
Oh,
I think that's what.
oh.
I could be wrong on that.
Another one that, and I'm sure up there in their office, they've got all kinds of information on, what happened and, how it was
Oh,
all
yeah.
done and everything.
That's a good meeting, good minutes.
Well, up here they should have all the blueprints and everything, so that should be in the county. They should have it. And I would imagine that soil conservation somewhere has got the same information.
That's it. That's the one I was talking about, was the soil conservation office up there. It's NRCS, and I still call it soil conservation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll always be soil conservation. Okay,
And I'll see it.
I'm gonna stop the tape. I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn. We can keep talking afterwards.
Okay.
So move.
What's his name
Second.
that was
All
that
right.
just left the soil conservation guy?
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Sorry, sir.
Meeting is adjourned.
Uh,